Good morning. Okay, I hear it just fine in my left ear. Good morning. A little muffled in the right ear. I have the Bluetooth, the old Autocon hearing aids, which are just a couple years old, and I got them up with Bluetooth attached to the cell phone, but I'm recording through the headset. And so I've got the hard wire and the Bluetooth going right now. I hope this sound works. It might not. But I adjust the volume, but every time I touch the volume, it knocks this thing right out. I want to read to you 1 Maccabees. I'm going to read the entire first chapter. And the purpose of it is so that we can start a conversation in what those who believe all the prophecy in the Bible has been fulfilled, what they have to offer us. Yes, they've got something to offer us. It's extremely important, but it took me probably 2 years before I could grasp these concepts. Oh, it's so small, but this is going to be from the King's English. And remember, this is from the Latin Vulgate, which means this is what the Pope and those people in Rome wanted us to have. They kept the really good manuscripts away from us. First book of Maccabees, chapter 1. And it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chittim, and smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes, that he reigned in his stead the first over Greece, and made many wars and won many strongholds, and slew the kings of the earth, and went to the ends of the earth, and took spoils of many nations, insomuch that the earth was quiet before him, whereas he was exalted and his heart was uplifted. And he gathered a mighty strong host and ruled over countries and nations and kings, who became tributaries unto him. And after these things he fell sick and perceived that he should die. Whereas he called his servants, such as were honorable, and had been brought up with him from his youth, and parted his kingdom among them while he was yet alive. 4 generals, 4 sections, including the famous Ptolemies. Alexander reigned 12 years and then died, and his servants bare rule everyone in this place. And after his death they all put crowns upon themselves, so did their sons after them. Many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth. Lorraine, quiet. And there came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes, son of Antiochus the king, who had been a hostage at Rome, and he reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks. In those days there were out of Israel wicked men. There went out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are around about us, for since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. So this device pleased them well. Then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to go after the ordinances of the heathen. Thereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem according to the customs of the heathen, and made themselves uncircumcised, and forsook the holy covenant, and joined themselves to the heathen, and were sold to do mischief. Now when the kingdom was established before Antiochus, he thought to reign over Egypt, that he might have the dominion of 2 realms. Therefore he entered into Egypt with a great multitude, with chariots and elephants and horsemen and a great navy, and made war against Ptolemy, king of Egypt. But Ptolemy was afraid of him and fled, and many were wounded to death. Thus they got the strong cities in the land of Egypt, and he took the spoils thereof. And Aristarchus had smitten Egypt, he restored again in the 143rd year, and went up against Israel and Jerusalem with a great multitude, and entered proudly into the sanctuary, and took away the golden altar, and the candlestick of light, and all the vessels thereof, and the table of the showbread, and the pouring vessels, and the vials, and the censers of gold, and the veil, and the crown, and the golden ornaments that were before the temple, all which he pulled off. He took also the silver and the gold, and the precious vessels. Also he took the hidden treasures which he found. And when he had taken them all away, he went into his own land, having made a great massacre, and spoke very proudly. Therefore there was great mourning in Israel for every place where they were, so that the princes and the elders mourned, the virgins and the young men were made feeble, and the beauty of the women was changed. Every bridegroom took up lamentation, and she that sat in the marriage chamber was in heaviness. The land also was moved for the inhabitants thereof, and all the house of Jacob was covered with confusion. And after 2 years fully expired, the king sent his chief collector of tribute unto the cities of Judah, who came into Jerusalem with a great multitude, and spake peaceable words to them, but all was deceit. For when they had given him credence, he fell suddenly upon the city, and smote it very sore, and destroyed much people of Israel. And when he had taken the spoils of the city, he set it on fire, and pulled down the houses and walls thereof on every side. But the women and children took their captive, and possessed the cattle. They builded the city of David with a great and strong wall, and with mighty towers, and made a stronghold for them. And they put therein a sinful nation, wicked men, and fortified themselves therein. They stored it also with armor and victuals, and when they had gathered together the spoils of Jerusalem, they laid them up there, and so they became a sore snare. For it was a place to lie in wait against the sanctuary, and an evil adversary in Israel. Thus they shed innocent blood on every side of the sanctuary, and defiled it, insomuch that the inhabitants of Jerusalem fled because of them. Whereupon the city was made an habituation of strangers, and became strange to those who were born in her, and her own children left her. Her sanctuary was laid waste like a wilderness. Her feasts were turned into mourning, her Sabbaths into reproach, her honor into contempt. As had been her glory, so was her dishonor increased, and her excellency was turned into mourning. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that they should be one people, and everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion, and sacrificed upon idols, and profaned the Sabbath. For the king had sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land, and forbid burnt offerings, and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbaths and festival days, and pollute the sanctuary and holy people, set up altars and groves and chapels and idols, and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts. That they should also leave their children uncircumcised, and made their souls abominable to all manner of cleanliness and profanation. All manner of uncleanliness and profanation. To the end that they might forget the law and change all the ordinances. And whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said, he should die. In the selfsame manner wrote he to the whole kingdom, and appointed overseers of the people over all the people, and commanding the cities of Judah to sacrifice city by city. Then the people were gathered unto them, to wit, every one that forsook the law, so that they committed evils in the land, and they drove the Israelites into secret places, even wheresoever they could flee for succor. For the 15th day of the month Caslu, in the 145th year, they set up the abomination of desolation upon the altar, and builded idol altars strong throughout the cities of Judah on every side, and burnt incense at the doors of their houses and in the streets. And when they had rent in pieces the books of the law which they found, they burnt them with fire. And wheresoever was found with any the book of the testament, or if any consented to the law, the king's commandment was that they should put him to death. Thus did they by their authority unto the Israelites every month, so as many as were found in the cities. Now the 25th day of the month they did sacrifice upon the idol altar, which was upon the altar of God. At which time, according to the commandment, they put to death certain women that had caused their children to be circumcised. And they hanged the infants about their necks, and rifled their houses, and slew them that had circumcised them. Howbeit many in Israel were fully resolved and confirmed in themselves not to eat any unclean thing. Wherefore they chose rather to die, that they might not be defiled with meats, and that they might not profane the holy covenant. So then they died, and there was very great wrath upon Israel. This print is so tiny. It really is small. Small book. The King's English, the syntax is reversed because, remember, we came from Israel, and their syntax is reversed because they write from right to left. And it was on the British Isles that the languages changed from left to right. And the Welsh in particular have a name for the pillow stone, Leofail, spelled the same way forwards as it is backwards. And that is the big indicator to me of when they changed the direction of writing language in the English Isles, what were to be English. So we've just read about the 25th of December and the slaughter of the children, the slaughter of the innocents. And also, one needs to understand, this is way before Yahshua made his appearance on the earth. And this is important, because this changed the whole course of the world. And Ptolemy had a big deal with it, because he's the one that ordered, actually it was Ptolemy II, his son, ordered the translation of the Hebrew Aramaic Bible into Greek. Why? Because most of the Israelites had been Hellenized. They were speaking the Greek language. And so I know it's confusing when we read the Bible, because we're told we're Gentiles by these big box churches. And remember, Isaiah wrote about the lying pastors. Isaiah didn't have any pastors back then. He had priests. So that doesn't make much sense to me. If you can explain that to me, good. But this is not a day that we celebrate. I had a copy of the Geneva Bible, and I think it had the Apocrypha in it. I did not keep it because the print was it was sold to me as large print, and it was too small. So I sent it back, and here I am stuck with this thing, which is even tinier. But this is the version of the King's English. I have another Bible with the Apocrypha in it, and I would like to read from that as well for you, because it's easier to understand the verbiage and the syntax in this. But I'm not going to read from you right now because I want to keep this short. And I'm going to make myself some hot chocolate. I pulled in my belt another inch this morning, or another half inch, whatever. I'm on a hole I've never been in on this belt before. And of course, here I am. The order of these books are different in this version of the Bible. The order of the apocryphal books are different, but they're all the same. But we start off with 1 Maccabees, or actually Susanna. Interesting. It's an interesting story. Bel and the Dragon. Not so interesting. 1 Maccabees. And so I've got a lot of notes in here. I will stop this right now, and we're going to put 1 Maccabees 1 on this for a title, and I'm going to put parenthetically Christmas. Now, that's a famous day. You've got this massacre, which most of us don't know about except from here. But we also have the birthday of Nimrod, or the birthplace of Semiramis's husband. Those are supposed to be the birthdays as well, December 25th. That has nothing to do with the birthday of the Messiah. As far as I can tell, the Messiah was born either 3 or 4 BC. I don't know which. And he was born during the Feast of Tabernacles. And I think somebody can do the research on it and see when Tabernacles. And see when the dates were for Tabernacles back in 3 and 4 BC. That would be very helpful. What we will find is that I believe we will find that he was born on what we call September 11th today. I believe the evil ones did that to us to make sure that we would not be celebrating the proper day of the Lord's birthday. May Yahweh bless